All right, we got our players of the week. I'm gonna be doing this weekly. It's a weekly segment. How I do it is I have a main player of the week. So these are people. These are like stars in the league who are doing really well. You got your LeBrons, your Jason Tatum's, your Kevin Durant's, like those type of players who's playing the best. I feel like, and then we'll have a under the radar player. So these are players who don't get as much recognition as the stars, but I want to show some support to them, you know. So I'll have one of those, and then I also have my rookie of the week. So for my player of the week, I have Luka Doncic. He is averaging 37.3 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 7.3 assists. He's playing like a MVP right now. He doesn't have much help around him. Um, I mean, that's just how the roster is. Um, and ever since Jalen Brunson left, but I do think that he's playing well. Um, no, I don't think he's had a game under 30 points this whole season. He's on a scoring tear, and I appreciate how efficient he's been. He's been much more efficient than last year, shooting threes well. So I do think that Luka has a good case to be MVP if he can get the wins up. For my under the radar player of the week, I have DeJounte Murray. He's averaging 26 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 9.7 assists. I think that this fit with Trae Young has been almost seamless. I think that he's playing well off of him. He's almost averaging double-digit assists, which is what we thought. This is what I thought, at least when he came there. You kind of unload some of that playmaking responsibility off of Trae Young, and you let him do that, and you let Trae focus more on scoring, which I think has been a success so far. Um, One thing I liked about him this past week, he dropped 36 and 9 assists against the Knicks, and he dropped 5 threes. That's a good development for him. I think if he can start shooting that three ball well, that can be just another great thing for this team to have. He also played well against the Pelicans. That game went to overtime, and he scored or assisted on 8 out of the 15 points. And that also led to a win. So I think he's been playing well. It'll be interesting to see if the Hawks can sneak into the playoffs without having to play in that play-in. They're looking really good right now, so I think it's possible. My rookie of the week is Paolo Banchero. He's averaging 23 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, and 3.3 assists. Um, the best thing about him, I really like his footwork. His footwork in the paint is nice. He's able to go up and under. He's able to do hook shots. He's doing a lot of things that you want to see out of a power forward. You would expect your power forwards to be a little bit more skillful than the centers. So he's fitting that bill very nicely. I like how he played against the Warriors. I do think he needs to work on his decision making a little bit. He had a few errant passes and he was trying to force the issue a little bit too much. But that's to be expected with a rookie who's trying to establish himself in this league. Um, I like him a lot, and it's been nice to watch him play a little bit. Moving on, we'll move on to the top 10 teams of the week. So I also do this weekly. Um, I'm not a standings type of guy when I do my rankings. I like to look at how you've been playing. I like to look at injuries. So if you've had a recent injury that I think will affect you, just because you've been playing well, I also predict. So if you lose somebody who's a big part of your roster, I might put you down a spot or two. Um, if you have been playing well, but you've been playing against like bad teams, that makes a factor. So I don't like to make rankings based off of standings. So for me, the Bucks are still the best team in the league, and I don't think it's that close. Um, they are still the best defensive team in the league. Number one in defensive efficiency. They're 22nd in 3-point shooting, and I think they're like 14th in offensive efficiency. That's to be expected. They don't have Chris Middleton there, and I think once he returns, which I think will be towards the end of November or early December, I think that he automatically improves your offense in your 3-point shooting. So I think they'll be perfectly fine. Number two, I have the Cavs. Last time I checked, they're currently smacking the Lakers. So um, I think that they have what they need to make a deep run in the playoffs. Like I said early in the show, I think that they need a decent 3-and-D wing to plug into that small forward role. I like Karis LeVert Peak. He's kind of like another dribble penetrator guard. I don't think he fits that bill as a starting 3-and-D wing that you can depend on down the stretch consistently in the playoffs. So I think that if they can get that, I would really like them against anybody. But I've loved what I've seen from them so far. Number three, I would take the Celtics. And number four, I would take the Suns. I would have switched them because that's what I had last week. I had the Suns third and the Celtics fourth, but the Suns just lost Cam Johnson. I think that lessens the depth that they have. We'll definitely see how they respond without him. Also, the Suns lost to the Trailblazers without Dame or Anthony Simons. So I have to knock them down a little bit for that. Um, Jeremy Grant did travel in that game winner, but it shouldn't have came to that. So I'm expecting them to bounce back from that. And when they do, I'll think about moving them up. Number five, I have the Jazz. Like I said earlier, don't know what to do with them. For right now, I'll put them five, but I'm expecting them to start tanking soon. But they're playing too well. Maybe they think that they can make the playoffs. I don't know what to think about this team. Right now, I'll keep them at five. If they have another week or two of playing this well, I will have no choice but to move them up. But I don't think they can beat any of the four teams above them. So I like five for where they at. At six, I have the Hawks. They're a little weird to talk about as well. I do love how DeJounte Murray's playing. I just talked about him as my under the radar player of the week. But Trae Young, a team with Trae Young, I expect the 3-point percentage to be a little bit better. But that's why I never thought that Trae Young was better than players like Ja, Jason Tatum, or Devin Booker. His 3-point percentage just never impresses me. He's shooting 30.6% from the 3-point range this year, which for him that's just not cutting it. That doesn't cut it at all for me. So they can improve the 3-point percentage. And also the middle of the road, they're kind of like middle of the pack defensively. I would like them to improve on that end as well for me to take them more seriously. But for now, I like putting them at six. Seven, I would have put the Pelicans higher than the Hawks, but they've been kind of inconsistent with their health, and I think that's kind of affected their rhythm. I think once they get healthy, they'll definitely move back up past them and maybe even past the Jazz. The Mavericks, Luka needs help. I can't put this team higher than 8 right now. The Mavericks aren't going to be able to win because they continue to run a heliocentric offense. For those who don't know what a heliocentric offense is, basically it's a offense that revolves around one player. So a great example of this is James Harden back in Houston. You would have James Harden, you would have like three to four shooters around him, and everything ran through James Harden, no matter what situation is. Every time down the floor, the ball is going to James Harden. He's gonna dribble, he's gonna make the decisions for the team. And I just don't think that style of play can lead to a championship. And is very taxing on that player. James Harden had really high usage rates when he was in Houston. Same thing with Luka now. And you lose Jalen Brunson. That's somebody else that you lose that had the ball in their hands. So that's even more on Luka. I think that this style of offense just isn't going to be able to win. Um, that I think they could also use a Kyrie Irving. I think that would be a nice fit. It's just another guy who can shoot, dribble, penetrate, play make. But as of right now, this team is not good enough to be higher than what they are right now. At 9, I have the Grizzlies, and at 10, I have the Nuggets. I don't have too much to say on them. I guess you could say these are placed here based off of their records because the teams other than them, I don't really have much to say about them. So 9, I have the Grizzlies, and 10, I have the Nuggets.